There's never a day that goes by where I don't think about hanging everything up. The idea of not trying at anything in life. It sounds bad when you say it out loud, but you get that thought. Surely you'd be free, right? You wouldn't have all these burdens of having to do the things that you don't want to do, even if they are going to be good things in the long run. You could actually say no and then follow through with actually not doing it. It feels like you have control and it sounds sweet, but it's important to remember that all of that is nothing but a temptation, a desire to just be lazy. Because what would you even do? It's not like you're going to feel a weight off your shoulders, because that weight is just going to be replaced with the mass of being a loser. And that will probably weigh more than any of your previous burdens ever did before. All that time that goes by not doing anything cannot be gotten back. And I'll be surprised if you don't think yourself a loser after not doing anything for 6 months when you could have been doing something for 6 months. Everyone has a role to play, and everyone has something they're good at. It's about exploiting it once you find it. Milk it for all it has. There's no shame in being good at only one thing, but don't just settle for good. Be great. So great that it is powerful. Not necessarily for anyone else, but for your own sake. Because you now have one area in your repertoire that has your complete faith and complete confidence. And that confidence will spread. You will become more daring, more risky. You will try things you have never done. You may fail at them. You may succeed. But you'll always know that the one thing you're great at, you'll always be able to fall back on as you try again to develop your skills. Do not expect reciprocated energy from those who are not obligated to give it to you. If you hold the door open for someone, it is a kind thing that you did for them, yes. But then they don't say thank you. Are you going to get annoyed about it? Saying that you can't stand people when they have no manners and blah, blah, blah. You can't get mad at that. Because then at that point, you didn't do it because it was a kind thing to do. You did it because you wanted some form of validation from the kind thing that you did. So that you can actually convince yourself that you are actually kind. That's not the same thing. Everyone is in their own world sometimes. Some people aren't paying as much attention. Some people have their mind on other things. Some people are just distracted. There probably are some who just don't care. You can't get mad at that. You didn't do it for people to acknowledge it. You did it because for your character, for your nature, it felt like the right thing to do. There is a reason why genuine kindness is such a rare thing, and that is because genuine kindness is unconditional. I have never understood why people feel the need to announce that they don't care. I have never understood why people feel the need to announce that they don't care about something. Now, there's a difference if somebody actually asks you whether you care or not, but consistently stating that you don't care in an unprovoked or at least unnecessary manner, it just raises one eyebrow for me. Because it's like, at that point, do you really not care? Because who are you trying to convince? And why do you even feel the need to convince someone that you don't care if you actually don't? Why not just simply just leave it alone? If you do not care, why not just simply move past it like it never happened instead of dwelling on it or ruminating over it? That should be a relatively easy thing to do if you don't care, right? Who am I to tell you if you actually care or not? I'm simply just asking you. If you actually care deep down, don't bother lying about it. Especially when someone is clearly distressed about something, yelling like they don't care. Either tell the truth or just don't say it out loud. But don't lie. You're only fooling yourself that way. And if you care, it's not like it's a bad thing, of course. It's situational, but it could mean you're compassionate, kind, and your emotions extend beyond yourself. Those are all good traits to have. Do not treat them like curses. A solution will always present itself as long as you stay attentive. You may not know what to do in the moment or what's going on, but if you constantly put yourself in that situation and keep your eyes and your ears open, you may hear the right information coming your way, or you might see someone heading in the direction that you're looking for. It's scary not knowing what's going on, but in the moment where you don't know what's going on, your senses are your best friend. Count on those as a guarantee to figure your way through. You're never truly lost as long as you have your senses, because you will figure it out soon enough. No matter who you are, you never know what type of person you truly became until you reach the very end. Maybe that's what death is all about. It can be realizing the true nature of yourself. Your identity is not a fixed concept. The more you go through life, the more you uncover. The more you begin to peel back the layers and find out more and more about yourself. Isn't that what life is? Uncovering parts of your character. And isn't death about finally knowing the type of person you truly were after doing all of that searching, discovering, and unfolding? Strength comes from being able to choose. A strong person has multiple paths which they can choose to traverse because they have created those opportunities for themselves. A strong person doesn't just run over everything in their way. They have that option, but they choose not to because they know it's not wise, as it only brings hate and misery. It takes a really strong person to stray away from that path, especially that path that seems to make the most sense after all the trials, suffering, and pain they endured. It takes a large amount of resilience to choose to be kind when surrounded by constant cruelty, but it takes a level of unshakability to stay that way. You have an overthinking mind and a sensitive heart. Your mind can't keep up with your heart. The feelings that your heart evokes are so strong that you start thinking of every scenario possible, but you only get stuck on the bad ones. You feel deeply about everything, so you overthink everything. You're constantly walking a tightrope, woven together by the small fibers of sanity that you have left. You overreact and overanalyze the smallest situations, and they happen involuntarily. This causes you to become easily hurt and sensitive, making you vulnerable to the hard experiences that life has to offer. You take much harder hits, and it takes longer for you to recover than anybody else.